Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM23. This is Lions episode 39. Quick programming note, this is going to be a short episode. I don't have much of a choice in the matter. As you know, I coach sports. I've got volleyball practice here in a little bit, but also I run a business. I run a daycare, and we had our annual licensing random and unannounced inspection the other day, and we had our follow-up with that today. Everything's good. We're good, but it was time consuming, and we just wrapped up. So I have about 25 minutes just to record. We'll see what I can squeeze in that time. But we're at the World Championships, so this is not a team thing, except that we're now starting to get to the point where South Africa is now being influenced by my team. Profile for this one is moderate cobbles, flat finish, but there is undulation along the way. So I think the climbing is going to matter. But of course, the most important thing is having somebody who can sprint. Surviving the cobbles is going to be a thing. The only sprinter in South Africa now is Matt de Villiers. So he's the number one guy. He's got a 61 cobble rating. Probably not going to feature. Now, William Snyders is the best cobble rated guy otherwise with a 72, but he can't climb. Meintjes can climb a bit, doesn't have the cobble rating, but at least it's a 65. Mason Samuels also has the climbing, but doesn't necessarily have the cobble rating. He's the worst. Actually, he's just as bad as de Villiers. So those are the four guys we have to choose from. I kind of want to go with the cobble rating to get the lead out, but then terrible sprinter, not going to provide much support. Same flat rating for these two. I think we're going to suck it up on the cobble rating, which seems to be a little bit bigger factor maybe than the climbing, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so convinced by that. Partially as a time factor, I'm going to go ahead and show you the whole race, as I got to play through it either way. I might as well play it through it for you and help make the episode a little bit longer. Nice race day condition draw. De Villiers on a +4, Meintjes on a +3. Give me a second, I gotta move the mic. There we go. So you can see we're pushing tempo here early on as the break is trying to establish. One thing to keep in mind is that we're towards the tail end of the Peloton period. We don't even have the addition or the hope of being able to get into a breakaway right now, as it were. But even if we wanted to, here's why I don't think the breakaway is the right place for us today. If it were just a regular sprint profile, I would think put one in the break, hope that the break hangs on, there's your top 10. You ride together and you protect one rider. Now, the reason why I protect one rider, why I think that's going to be a better, we'll go ×4 for now, why I think that's a better option under these circumstances is the cobbles. The best hope here is a sprint and squeezing out a top 10. Now, there's guys with 80s plus, and de Villiers just is not that, but he does have a +4. That gives him a 76-76. That can be semi-competitive. Like I said, we're starting to get there in the sprint. It's getting closer. It is closer to being a factor. De Villiers is a couple points away. And then race day condition bonus to being competitive. It's the lead out. It's the setup that's really hard. Now, of course, in our sprints all the time, we squeeze out top 10s. No problem. It's turning it into wins that has been hard for our team. It's why we do those sprint objectives, right? It's the stage win. It's we're going out and trying to win a stage with our sprint team. And that's where we've been coming up short. We can get occasional podiums. More often than not, though, it's top 5s, top 7s. And that's all we could really aim for here either. So coming in a little bit late, just getting a little bit of a lead out and going for it late, having an alternative strategy to what we normally run makes sense here, because the objective is going to be to get a top 10, not to win. I think that's all we can really hope for in a year like this. But here's the difference between why break, not break. Okay, the prospect of going in the break. There's 3 riders, 10 minutes up the road with 205 kilometers to go. That would be a lovely place to be, to make that 4 at 10 minutes up the road. Chances of them staying away are not good. Gap's already starting to come down with 200 kilometers to go. We got to gain 30 seconds every 10K to reel them in. And not only do we only have to gain 30 seconds every 10K, it's 200K that they've got to ride solo. 250, 270K that they have to ride solo. That's just a crazy length and a crazy goal. And Mankey's go get water. It's too far. It's going to absolutely destroy. You need a super high stamina. Mankey's today has an 81. And I love that he's given us this bonus. I love that he's got a 69 cobble rating today. It's going to help us out immensely. I think we made the right pick. Absolutely. Especially based on the race day condition of each of them. What that's doing for us, how that's looking for us, gives us a better shot. Absolutely. But the big thing is it's such a crazy long distance. It's already down to 8 minutes. Have we gone 40K? Not quite. We've done 35. So at this rate, it's not looking good. And it's only going to get worse for these guys. It is only going to get worse. Now, that was one of the hardest cobbled sectors, and it was a drop. But we're only pushing a 75. So, De Villiers, how's the climbing looking today? 61 mountain. 64 medium mountain. 67 hills. So, as it intensifies later, at least he increases the pace as we have to increase the effort, right? He can afford to drift back little bits here and there. The last lap through this sequence that we do is well before the end of the race. It's going to be this other circuit that we're going to soon be on that is going to be the finishing circuit. So I like how that's going to help us out. But we're already inside 7 minutes on the group at 140. So they're well under control. They're going to get caught. Breakaway is not going to win today. And therefore, and as I seem to have already judged it correctly, or at least you would think right now with 133K to go, we've seemed to have judged it correctly. But anyway, our best shot is with our sprinter, not with Mankey's in the break. His flat rating's okay, but at a 73 and with mid-70s stamina, would not fare well in the breakaway on a stage such as this. But this is what the looping finishing circuit looks like. Definite undulation to it, lots of little ups and downs, lots of technical in town, but it's where is that finish at? What does that finish look like? And it's got a little uphill right before the finish, which means it's going to favor Vanderpool, it's going to favor Van Aert, it's going to favor Philipsen's kind of punchy too, right? It's going to favor guys other than us. So even that top 10 is going to be hard pressed at this stage. But it's still our best shot. Protecting him, getting him through the cobbles to the finish line is our best shot. If it was flat, I would try to put somebody in the break. And when it becomes quite clear that they are going to be caught, when it's quite clear that it's getting close, and they give that last push, that last acceleration, don't bother. Sit up, rest, get back, then support your one sprinter, right? Because he's the only support you've got. He's the only lead out you've got. You need him desperately if it comes down to it. But if the breakaway is going to hold on, beautiful, right? If not, they have a more important role to play. But here, because of the cobbles, because of the undulation, you have to, right? You have to protect your best chance, and De Villiers is our best chance because of the sprint. But heading into the last phase, here comes that big lap. Let's get up to an 80 here for this one. Still probably going to drift back, but it's 143 in the Peloton. Nobody off the back. Until somebody just fell. There's the big moment. And we're also at 61K, so Mankeys. Go ahead and drop back. Get the water. And now we're in a small, shrunken Peloton. Good timing on the water. That temporary split made it a lot easier. And poof. Done. We've made it through the hardest part of the entire race. And we're nearly at full strength. Looking good on that part. 52K to go now. The gap, 230. That's 50K. And we're at 50K. So they are hanging on. But again, it gets harder later. Right? Pace picks up. Gets harder for just 3 riders to hold off a charge. So we seem to be judging it well. Pacing it well. And it seems like the last minute or so will be easy. And here we go. Go Williamson starts the Classics riders' late attempt. We'll slow it down a little bit just to see what happens here. Hands off for us. We're a team of 2. There are full-blown teams here, many nations with full teams. But the rankings put us down at 2. Now, it's supposed to be dynamic, so we should see... We're not going to see new nations up here. It's going to be the same nations, apparently. But over time, what we should see is as South Africa moves up the rankings a lot, we should see us get 3 riders, 4 riders, 5 riders for our teams. That's how it's supposed to work anyway. 24 left in the Peloton at the moment. It is yo-yoing, but we catch the little break that's there. It's only 30 seconds ahead of a chase group, but that chase group just split. There's another group attacking, and that constant attack and chase is keeping it under pressure, but we stretch a little bit, and contact is made once again. 23K to go. Very much it is time to go faster. Group of 5. This one's a little worrying. Pidcock. Not the biggest names, though. Pidcock's certainly among one you would worry about, but after that, not as worrying as a group, and they're already splitting up. And we are splitting up. 41 riders. Chasing hard. 20K. Speeding up again. I think we're going to be catching these guys. Ooh, they're back together. But the gap is small. You can see how technical it is and how easier it is to stay away here than other places. Very short 2-star sector. That's not going to bother us. That is not going to bother us. What's going to bother us is just this relentless pace and the relentless attacks one after another. If one of these make it, succeed, and hold on, as the Peloton's really coming back together. 130 now. Alright, folks. We're getting down to it. Coming up on the 10K banner, and we take each other out. We take each other out. And De Villiers gets going again, but he is way down the order. Now, Mankeys is further up. Mankeys is much further up. Never mind protection. They both need to be trying to get back in place now, and that's a concern. Wow. A late crash. 10K from the finish. There's De Villiers under what should be the banner. And we have made it to the front. We have made it to the front with Mankeys. So Mankeys is in place. And he's gotten some separation here. We're going to follow Rutsch. And the field is splitting. Meanwhile, De Villiers can only push so hard to have anything left later on. Follow. Mazzato. Sure, we are 40 seconds ahead. 40 seconds. Now, this makes sense to be in a break here. Mankeys, under these circumstances, this is the right place to be. 5K to go. We're going to go flat out 99 and follow. No need to work. Let them do the work. Right now, we have a top 10. Right now, we have 43 seconds on the Peloton. Right now, De Villiers is still trying to make his way forward. Positioning. He got up a lot slower than Mankeys did. But he has made some progress through the field. Front 7 right there, and 2K. That's a little chance to move forward. We're going to go up and gel 3K. Front 10 together. And we move up our position. Okay, now we got Van Baarle, Laporte, Pidcock, Garcia. There's your contenders, and we've made contact with them, and 45 seconds ahead. We are going to get a top 10, I think. What we're not going to get, though, is a win. I mean, the red bar is toast keeping up with these guys. But roll up to a 96. They're already putting us under pressure. And sprinting now, final 100. Or final K, that is. 1.6, 99. Sorry, so much back and forth. I know it's disconcerting with the buildings. Looks like it's going to be a 10th. The whole group has beat us, but it's a top 10. It's a top 10. Pizzotto, Roch, Tiller, Mankies. 700 meters, De Villiers. Can he make some progress? That red bar is not lasting long. That recovery. That top 10, that feels pretty good after what just happened. A crash with 10K to go. Mankies gets up super fast, but did they both crash or was it only De Villiers? I don't know. Initially, I thought they both went down, but Mankies was very much still at the front, so I don't think he crashed. I think it was just De Villiers that crashed, and we had to go for the alternative non-sprinter, and it took him most everything he had just to keep up with the group and make contact with, because it was 3 guys chasing 7. They caught them. We finished half a minute ahead of everybody else. Look at all those splits that ended up happening at the end, so there was plenty of splits. Just being up there with the group was a bit of a miracle. Sad that we couldn't at least be one of them, but hey, it's a top 10. Just to squeeze a little more content in before I'm fully out of time here, we have the Super Volta Portugal. Roteus here won the prologue at the start, so he is currently in first place. Is he... He's not even listed as our leader. Let's make it 2 leaders then. We already start to see some gaps, so there goes that lead as a front group of 12. Molebron was in the chase group, but Roteus here already losing time. Ashimwe is 31st. Roteus here apparently losing a lot of... lost a lot of time. Went from the lead to more than a minute down, so... so much for the GC of that one, but this is not what I was really here for. What I'm here for is we're going to keep an eye. It's only the 10th of August. Signings usually take about a week until they start. So we're just at the beginning phase. We were 19th in the index after our signings were complete. We have already dropped 1 spot. And daily we're seeing emails of riders getting signed up. Stefan Nabad is going to do the time trial as he is the best in the discipline for Africa, but we're not exactly talking about quality. It's 42.8 kilometers, and it's 72 is just, it's going to be very much at the back of the grid. So quick sim it is. By back of the grid, I meant back of the grid, 59th out of the 63 competitive riders in the race. Wolscheid taking the win. Stage 5 is a big climbing stage. Molebron and Ashimwe both did decently well, though over 2 minutes down to Connor Clark. It does bring them both into the top 10 with Stoger as the current race leader. After 8 stages, Ashimwe has improved his position up to 7th, while Molebron is falling down the order a bit. And things are starting to shake up on the signings front. 17th of August, a lot of the big names are now going to be signed up. And that has bumped us well away from World Tour, but still comfortably Continental Pro. But just how many moderate names, how many known quantities are still out there that can see us bump down quite a bit further? For one thing, we have Gramai going to DSM in the coming season. So that's one big one. And there's definitely still some quality out there. Just taking a look at the current list, there are 3 remaining riders in the 5.5-star range, so big names. Remember, our biggest guy is 5. The 5-star list goes down a fair bit. William Bloom Levy, the last of those on that list, he is definitely outside of, let's see here, Fred Wright. Fred Wright is about here. So a little bit beyond one full page worth. There's still close to 20 big names remaining until you get down to the 4.5 star range, and then there's going to be plenty of those. Big obstacles remain for us until really you get down to the 4-star guys. We don't have to worry about that. We are 4.5 stars or better for everyone, but the 4.5 are plentiful. The 5s, there's still a fair few, and 3 5.5. So anything, we still get knocked down quite a bit here, and we've got about 10 positions though above the bubble. Final stage of this Portugal tour, Shimway. It's a time trial. Grabs 4th place. Really good result. Molebron gets 13th. And so in the final standings, Shimway climbs into the top 5. That's a good result. I mean, this field is spread like a grand tour. You're talking about 16, 17 minutes to the guys outside of the top 10. We're talking about many minutes across everybody off the podium. So for a Shimway to get up there into 5th place is good. Connor Clark, solid rider, and finishes a minute behind us. Molebron got back up to 15th, but I'm happy with the 5th place. We're into September, but I'm starting to get a little nervous because we are already below where I thought we would wind up. I never thought we would drop outside of the top 30 in the rankings, but the database just keeps getting deeper. And here we are already all the way down to 32nd. Now we're still Continental Pro, but we're all the way down to 32nd. So our cushion is getting small. And it's only the 2nd of September. In the world of what's left, the 5 stars, the 5.5s, gone completely. But the 4.5s still can impact things. Now, our weakest guy is 4.5, so of our top trio. So that's not necessarily going to make anyone better than us. However, if they have 2 5s and then fall off to 3.5 stars, a 4.5 would absolutely make somebody better and make them better than us. So a 4.5 could still be impactful, but not as much as it would have been. So we're getting closer to being safe. But we have at least a full page here. Umana. There's only 3 more actually after Umana. So we're talking about just over 1 full page. It's not a long list of 4.5 star talents remaining. After that, it's 4 stars and below. After that, of course, we're still talking about a month plus. So development will continue with riders, with teams. One internal development could bump somebody just behind us to somebody who's just ahead of us. So it's not done. It's not guaranteed at all, but we are definitely getting closer now to safety. Team index wise, there we are with that Continental Pro. We are 5 spots or 4 spots above the bubble. And this is a big one right here, okay? This is a big one here. Even though above us it's crowded, and even though above us we're talking about 4-star teams not making World Tour, it starts to drop off. You get to almost 3.5 at about 29th. Equipo, Current Pharma, Israel Premier Tech, MTK, us, Glass Drive, really close, all roughly 3.5 stars. But look, it starts to fall off. You're under 3.25 here with Kolpak, Raiffeisen, and you're talking about just slivers now in for the next 2, 3. And then you're talking about a clean 3 stars. But by then you're already Continental. But here's the thing. Internal development is going to get you a 10th, 2 tenths. Those last handful of signings could make a difference. They are available. The World Tour teams are going to have most of their guys. They're going to have a few fillers left to sign. There's going to be teams in our range that are going to want to sign those guys up, and it is going to create a boost. But we're talking about 1 4.5 star talent. If you're already at 3 4.5 stars, is it going to bump somebody above us? Or 2 4.5s and a 4, is it going to bump somebody above us? It's going to take a pretty healthy jump. And with just a handful of 4.5 stars left, there isn't significant jumps that are left out there. So I don't think that Sport Flanders or Austria Car can jump us. I'm thinking that yes, we could still drop a spot or 2 through those internal developments through those last signings. But the fall off after that is too significant. I do not think that we are going to face a scenario where we're going to fall out of Continental Pro the rest of the way. But it's only the 2nd of September. There's still more than 15 signings left out there that could alter things. It's not assured yet, and we're closer to that bubble than I thought we would be. Like I said, I thought we would fall no worse than 30th. I thought we were going to be pretty comfortable in Continental Pro. But looking at where that cutoff is right now, in a way, we're still a little bit comfortable. All right, folks. Well, I am out of time. Sorry. I got to get going. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.